everyone. I wanted to do an update on my December daily. A couple of videos ago, I think I showed you and talked about what I was going to be using this year. And now I've got the book put together, and I wanted to show you that and also to share a few of the things that I'm going to be using in it. So I am using this book cover. It's 5 by 7.5, and the spine is 1.25 inches. And I have done sewn in signatures. My previous December dailies I have done differently, where they were loose pages. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work out this year. So this is just a test. I may have to tip in a few things just to make sure that it flows properly. However, I'm liking it so far, and I've got a few days done. And I should just clarify, I do not do a true December daily. I generally do events. So I don't journal every day, although this year I've decided that on the days that I do add some things, I'm going to use larger numbers as opposed to just, writing in the date. So I did decide to do that this year. Anyway, I have not decided what I'm doing with the cover yet. I'm going to leave that to the end. And I've also not decided whether I'm going to cover the spine. So I wanted to make sure that the embroidery floss that I used to sew in the signatures was fairly similar to the color of the book, so that if I decided not to cover it, it wouldn't be as noticeable. So I was pretty lucky to find that color at Michael's. So inside, I think I mentioned to you earlier that I'm using this Tim Holtz Yuletide paper from this year, and it's fairly retro. Well, at least to me it seems pretty retro, and by retro I mean kind of 60s, 70s. So I have, because of that, decided that I'm going to not only journal about this December, but I'm also going to build in some memories from when I was a child and my brothers and I were young. So to do that, and I'm not sure how I'm going to use these pictures, but I'm going to scan some of our old pictures from Christmases when we were kids, and I don't know whether I'll use them as tags or tuck spots or that kind of thing. My dad was a photographer, so we have just an absolute ton of pictures, and I really can't wait to add some of those in. So those are just a few. I've got a lot more off to the side here, so I've got to get busy and scan those. So this is definitely a work in progress. I do not do things ahead of time generally. So you'll see, and I'll flip through that, but you'll see what I've done is just added in, I've used graph paper, I've used plain paper, and I've used journal paper that's been coffee dyed, and then I've mixed that just with the pattern paper and the signatures. So because the Tim Holtz paper line is 8 by 8 and this book is 5 by 7.5, I've got these short pages, and so I'm going to leave some of them short, and others I'll probably add a piece to make it a full page. It depends on what's going on. In the middle of this signature, I liked this page, so I've left it open, and I may just leave it as decoration. In the middle of this signature, I've got a short page that I've turned into a pocket, and I've got a tag in there, and I think I did the same in the middle of this one. Yes, I've got this vellum pocket, and I don't know whether I'm going to leave. I've added this washi tape, not sure I really like it, so I'm gonna kind of play that by ear. I've added the paper that I like the best to the inside front cover here, and then added to the back. Now when I added this, I realized I had forgotten about the closure. However, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of these brads, and I think it's going to be that one. I'm going to add it here, and then on the inside where I punched the hole, I've got a bunch of these cutouts from the Tim Holtz paper line, and I'm just going to do something like that to cover it. So I think it covers the brad hole, and it will just add to the book. So inside the front cover here, I have added this calendar. I like to do that every year, and I've added it in with a file folder, and right now I've just got some December daily prompts list there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, whether I might journal in it, I might put pictures in it, I may just add this kind of thing. I've left it open at the back, and I've just added this the words to the Christmas song from the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Here I've got my word for December, which is Mary, in that tag, and then there's my journaling. Those are the big numbers I'm going to be using, so that was for day one. I've got a picture here I've got to print. This was a work event, and I've just included that picture and journaled about the event here on a tag. And this is a bag. I've just added a little tag too that I need to decorate up. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. So I've just added some bags and things. I've got an event tonight that I'm going to be, of course, journaling about. So that's really as far as I've gotten right now, which is not very far, I guess. I've added, of course, some trim. So I'm going to do lots of, tabs. So I've got some cut out here, just, the usual tabs. But I'm also going to use some of these. These are the Tim Holtz metal tabs. So I'm also going to be using those. And then I think I showed this, so I've got a bunch of these words that I'm going to be using in, I guess, different ways throughout the book, not quite sure yet how. And then I've just got some of these things that I remember when I was a kid. The Grinch was always my favorite, and Charlie Brown Christmas. And of course, I've got Elf here, so I'm going to be adding, my favorite movies and that kind of thing. Words to one of my favorite songs. Just some, these are just all printables from Pinterest or Etsy that I'm going to be using in some fashion. So those are some of the things. So very kind of vintage retro look. This is some of the ephemera from the Tim Holtz pack that I'm going to be using. So again, very retro, kind of very 60s. Really reminds me of when I was a kid, and so that's why I'm using those old pictures of me and my brothers. This was from the Tim Holtz paper pad holiday decorations. So I think I'm going to cut that in half, make that into 2 tags, and then put my holiday decorating for this year, pictures of that there. I'm not really a mixed media person, but I do have a couple of these Tim Holtz stencils. I'm going to try my hand at that this year. It's a little bit of fun there. I've got this great retro Merry Christmas stamp that I just got. And I ordered a bunch of things from Katie Doucette, who has an Etsy shop called The Paper Basket, and she had these great tags. So remember and memories and wish. So I'm going to use those in some fashion. I've got some of the Tim Holtz Christmas word charms that I'm going to be using. A few more. I've got a ton of stamps, but these are a few that I'm going to be using, and my washi tape and my jingle bells and my snowflake wood pieces that I'm going to heat emboss. So lots of things there, and then the other things that I'm going to be using are just some fibers here that I've got. More trims there. I got this great trim from Amanda Charleston, and this as well. And then I've got this great kind of tinsel trim, which, tinsel was a big deal when we were kids, so that's why I wanted to use that. And then this plaid ribbon as well. So those are some of the things I'm going to be using. Oh, and I've got just a bunch of bags and glassine envelopes and those kinds of things I'm going to use in some way as well. And then I've just got a couple of cards here from Michaels that I'm going to use for journaling spots. And then I just had a few Project Life cards here that I'm going to use in some way, probably. Maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes with the look of the book. So it's still very much a work in progress, but I'm really liking the feel of it. Right now I've got kind of a plan in my head, and I guess we'll have to see how it actually turns out in the end. So that's my update, and I will be back with this again in the new year once I have completed it, put it together, and I'm happy with it. So I hope everyone's having fun doing their December daily / December journal. I know I am, and I will see you next time. Thanks.